Hello, people. Welcome to another episode of the 2020 Planner Advent. I'm John, and this wonderful month-long event was created by Simone, and you can check out videos by her, Amanda at Imperfections, Dakshina, Ellie. I can't remember the name of her YouTube channel because it's slightly different than her Instagram, where I know her from first, and myself. There's the five of us, and today's episode is dealing with inspiration, FOMO, and all of that fun stuff. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of planning for the day and play in my art journals. So let's dive right on into the questions. I will have them linked below. So if you want to partake, film your own version of this, please do, but make sure you use the hashtag 2020 Platter Advent. So the first question is, what inspires you? That is a very interesting question. There's lots of stuff that inspires me. One of the main things that I'm inspired by are other artists. I've been following on Instagram and YouTube and other places, like Mindy Lacefield, Jane Davenport, Willow, of course, James Burke and Ali Brown and Bree, and there's so many others, and they have, their YouTube channels. They have their Instagram. Another big inspiration of mine is Mary Blair, and I wouldn't really know who she was if it wasn't for Mindy Lacefield. I mean, I would know who she is because of her It's a Small World and all the stuff with Disney, but I don't think I would have known her name or would have even had, you know, a couple of books that have her artwork in them if it wasn't for Mindy Lacefield. So definitely a big inspiration there. And I go lots of places: Instagram, YouTube, books, you know, stickers that I buy as inspiration. So that was the what inspires you and where do you go for inspiration. The next question is, how do you deal with the constant pressure to buy things? Which I find ironic that right now in the video you can see I'm adding up my what I call my no spend, low spend. It's something that I've been doing for almost 3 whole years here on YouTube. And it first started out as a way for me just to kind of track how much I'm spending on planner related items, whether it be traveler's notebooks, ring binders, stickers, fancy paper, pens, ink, art supplies. And that was the first thing that I decided I needed to do, is I needed to just track what am I spending at first, and not even try to do a like what people would consider a no spend. I just wanted to see what I was spending in a month, and then kind of get slapped with that reality. And then what I did was I decided to total up what I had spent on Cocoa Daisy. I loved Cocoa Daisy. I love the product, but I realized I was spending close to $1,000 a year on Cocoa Daisy inserts and stickers and paper clips and pouches and bags and all of that stuff. And I was thinking, is that how I want to be spending my money? And then here I was spending my money there, and I wasn't really using the items because, number one, you get so much stuff with that kit. And then I didn't want to use it because, like, well, what if I wanted to use some of this next year with the next kit, and I've used it all up. And so what ended up happening is I had about 2 to 3 years worth of planner supplies that I just kind of used. So that was kind of a wake-up call for me, just to kind of, be a little bit more intentional. I think that's my favorite word of choice. Intentional. What am I using my money for? On the screen, I'm showing you my favorite Peanuts Planner Co. insert. It's the week on 2 pages. And what I did was I took the personal size, which I have there in my notebook, and I printed it at 116% and then cut it down to a standard Midori size, and it works beautifully in there. So this is my planner rings. That's what I'm using right now. It's standard rings from Mystic's Little Gift, and it's a beautiful cover. Got to take a sip of coffee. Definitely need to do that. Now I'm pulling out, this is the newest thing that I've acquired since the previous video. It is the Documented Journey A5 cover in honey. I was wanting something a little bit different than my Hobonichi cover, because the Hobonichi cover, though, I love it. It's quite thick and quite cumbersome, so I wanted something a little bit more minimal. So I'm just kind of going through some of my planner supplies. So how do I deal with the constant pressure? This has really helped me, the writing down before I purchase. I have a huge playlist of videos where I talk about different ways of what I've done in different months. I will link that in the info box above. I think that playlist is called No Spend Year. It was at that time when the beauty industry was having those no spend year. I've got enough stuff. I'm only going to replace things when I run out, and that was kind of what I was thinking of doing, and it did not end up that way. How do I make my planner purchase decisions? A lot of that is due to, do I need it? Am I replacing something that's used up? Or is it going to be a new purchase that's going to fill a need for something that will be at least needed for the next few years? I've also set up lots of criteria of, like if I can replace it in less than 20 days and under $20, sometimes it's an item that I just will put on a list and wait a day or two to see if I still want it or need it. But I also made up if it's, depending on the item, if it's $100 or more, I actually wait 30 days and then decide, am I really going to purchase it? Like with this beautiful cover by Brie, I waited, oh goodness gracious, 3 months. It was one of her colors she released during the summer. Okay, active live John is going to speak now. So these are just a bunch of fun stickers. Oh, there's another one that I got years ago from Sanrio. It's like a real Sanrio set. They came with an A5 folder, like a document sleeve, kind of like the new Midori ones. And it came with this little ad display, and it came with 12 stickers, and these are like very thick, very high quality vinyl stickers. I've had these since they came out. So when was this published? 2018. So I've had this for over 2 years, or almost 2 years, two full years, or 3 years. 2018, 2019, 2020, 3 years. I've had it for 3 years. And I have refused to put these stickers on anything because, what if I put this wonderful one of Karopi and all of his friends? What if I put it somewhere and then I want it again? So something I've started doing in my journal is drawing these stickers. So I'm actually not placing them down. And these are like really high quality vinyl stickers that would work on like skateboards and stuff like that. Like I would have done that when I was a kid growing up. I would have put it on my skateboard or slapped it on the side of a roller skate. That tells you how old I am when I say roller skates, not roller blades. But I've drawn a lot of karopi in here. Let's see if I can find where he makes his first appearance. It's coming up. Oh no, where's Karopi? I think he's on the next page. Yeah. So the first one I drew was this one, and I got the wrong color out for him. But I drew him with his little friends, and just, you know, the best I could in a quick little drawing. So there's that. Then the next drawing. Hanukkah Sameach, Chag Sameach. Someone had asked, how do you say like Happy Hanukkah in Hebrew? And you would say like Chag Sameach is like, you know, like a celebration greeting. Or if you actually want to say Hanukkah, then, you know, Hanukkah Sameach means Happy Hanukkah. Where's my other karopis? This one right here is my version of this. I made it a different colored sun, and since I had colored samples up here, I couldn't put his little snail friend, so I put his little snail friend there. Not quite as good as the original, but it's fun. And then I've got a couple back here. This one is basically the reverse of the photo here. And then I just drew a little karopi. I guess you could say it's like him on the back, but not really. And then I think I've got some up here. And then here's the little dude. And then this is one of the ones where he's on his side, and I just decided to pop in the other two little friends. So, yeah. And since, you know, Karopi's a little frog and he's green, I mean, sipping on his tea. Okay, so I just thought I'd pop in quickly and share some of that. Okay, back to the voiceover. So I just wanted to share a little bit of where I got those cute stickers from. But I was talking about this, you know, notebook by Brie. I waited quite a long time before actually making the purchase of it, because, you know, at that time I wasn't using an A5, even though I thought, well, I would love to get that in an A5. But then I actually started using my A5 Breeze, and then I also realized I have, you know, A5 Midori inserts. I have A5 Midori, you know, thick books like like this Breeze, that in the past I had purchased them and cut them down to fit into a standard size Midori. But then I realized that is so silly. I mean, yes, I'm actually getting something to fit the need that I have, but what I was just thinking the other day, you know, like what a waste of all of that extra paper that I cut off. So yeah, and one of the reasons is no, I don't have a budget that I set. But what I do is if it's something that I need and something that I'm going to use, and that's really what has really made me think about this, is it something that I'm going to use? Then it gets put on a list, and then I wait the appropriate time that the list says, and I go back and check my centered feelings, and is this something I need? Is it something I want? Am I going to use it? And then that determines if I will purchase that item. So I don't really have a budget. I don't limit that. But that's something I thought of doing, like maybe next year, giving myself $25 a month, $25 a month, and see, you know, can I get what I want, um, for that? I've determined that I'm not going to buy any inserts anymore. I have the tools and the skills in order to make Coptic bound books. I have the tools to make hand stitched or uh, stapled inserts. I don't need to be spending money on things that I can do myself. And that way I can actually get and purchase the paper that I love, not just what happens to be available. I mean, I have Midori MD paper. I have Tomoe River paper. I've got lots of the old Tomoe River paper, which I'm thankful for. I've got, the staples, pastels. There's, so much, or art paper. I have my own mixed media paper. I have my own watercolor paper. I can make all of the inserts that I want. I have more than enough traveler's notebooks, folios, ring binders. I have enough of that stuff. So that will help me with my budget. The next question: how do you know when you have too much? I knew I had too much when I was trying to fit all of my traveler's notebooks into one of those bins that fits in one of those collapsible bins that fits into an IKEA shelf. When I couldn't fit them in there and I couldn't store them, the way that I wanted to in cloth bags. And then also when I was going through them, realizing, oh, I forgot I had this. Oh, I don't like this color. Oh, I don't like this leather. Oh, I don't like this. And so it started about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I started gradually KonMariing, what I called it, through my traveler's notebooks. And I've released probably about 100, 150 traveler's notebooks. I had way too many. Every designer would come out with something new, and I'd be like, oh, I want to try this leather. Oh, I want to try that size. And also when, you make inserts. I mean, I was making and selling inserts, and we were, doing pretty pretty good with the number of inserts that we were selling. And so, I if someone wanted a calendar in B6 size, well, I needed to see what a Chic Sparrow B6 felt like, or a Foxy Fix, or another maker, so I could, see just how much extra room does a Chic Sparrow have, how much less room does like a Sojourner have, and so I had to try all of the sizes, and in doing so, I mean, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about spatial dimensions and sizes of calendars and weeklies, and I learned what I liked, what I didn't like, and then that also helped me release a lot of those, because B6 isn't my size. That's okay. I know it because I've tried it in multiple makers, and I've designed my own calendars, and I know people love that size, and so that's why I make that for them. So yeah, so that helped. And then also going through my art supplies, I, had a ton of acrylic paints. I got them because Mindy Lacefield does some really great things with acrylics. I don't like working with acrylics. They're too waxy and plasticky feeling. And then sometimes the pages of an art journal or an insert stick together because of that. So I ended up getting rid of so many of my items to a former student, so that helped as well. Also, something that has helped this year is that I've had to teach at home. I have needed to kind of reorganize the space where I plan, where I art, where I flute, because I've needed to do more fluting. Before, I stored a majority of my music in the closet in bookshelves, and I kept it in the closet just so that way it was kind of out of sight, because a huge collection of music and CDs can be a little cumbersome. So I really need to not become a minimalist, but just really make sure that the items that I have in my collection are true things that are sparking joy and that are really fulfilling a need that I have. So I wouldn't say I'm a minimalist, but I'm trying to make everything that I use more intentional. Ah, here's that cover by Brie. Look how beautiful it is. She calls this one Honey. So this is the end of my uh, episode for today. Please make sure that you're following everybody, and if you want to play along, please join us. And I will see you in my next video next week. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you then. Take care.